Hi, I'm Chief Kim Jacobs from Columbus Division Police, and I'm here to talk about bullying. Police personnel, by the very nature of their jobs, know that there are bad people and bullies in society. It's our primary role to stop that bad behavior. But as community members, we also need to care about the victims of this behavior. We want to stop bullying because it presents problems now and in the future. We have the tools and training to help anyone with this problem. We want to be a safe place for people to seek help from us because we are a safe place for them. We find that our differences make us stronger, wiser, more open, and more compassionate. If you're being bullied because somebody thinks that you're different or just because, we want you to seek help. Bullies often intimidate their victims and threaten to harm them or their families. That's how they operate and continue to get away with it. We want you to seek help, and when you reach out, you might find some inner strength in you that you didn't even know that you had. Persistence may be necessary. If at first you don't get the help that you need, please keep looking. What I do know is that there's a future waiting for you, and there's no one else just like you. We're here to protect and support you as long as it takes and until it gets better.
Hi, my name is James Deal, and I'm a
Columbus police officer.
I'm Sergeant Nick Convis.
Tracy Shaw.
I'm Commander Rhonda Grizel.
I am Deanne Trianfante.
My name is Stephanie Martin.
I'm a latent print examiner.
I'm Mark Frontera.
I work for Columbus Police Department as a patrol officer.
I'm an officer with the Columbus Division of Police.
My name is Jamie Frisch. I'm a police officer with the City of Columbus.
Currently a patrol sergeant with Columbus Police.
I've been with the Columbus Division of Police for 16 and a half years.
I've been on the department about 10 and a half years now.
20 years now.
I'm a police officer for Columbus Division of Police in Columbus, Ohio.
I'm Chris Icaboni. I'm a 911 police dispatcher with the City of Columbus.
I'm a patrol commander for the Columbus Division of Police.
My name is Kim Jacobs, and I'm the Chief of Police in the City of Columbus.
I'm from a small town, a very, very small town in northwestern Pennsylvania.
I'm from Northwest Ohio. I grew up around cornfields and farms.
I grew up in Wilmington, Ohio, very small conservative town.
Everyone knows everyone in these small towns, even though we were a suburb of Columbus.
I'm from Altoona, Pennsylvania, which is a
pretty conservative area.
I grew up in Ashland, Ohio.
Fort Mitchell, Kentucky.
Buffalo, New York.
I grew up in what you would call a nuclear family.
Strict Italian family. My dad worked for General Motors for 30 years.
We would go to church every Sunday.
Went to a very small high school.
I was very active in sports.
I was on the football team.
I was very introverted. My mom literally was one of my biggest fans, and she always said she would rather watch me play softball than eat.
One time in school, somebody made a comment about somebody being gay, and it really kind of angered me. And I'm not sure why it angered me, but it did, and I do remember that.
starting high school is maybe when I thought, I'm a little bit different than other people.
I was supposed to grow up, marry, high school sweetheart. I didn't want to let my parents down.
Well, I always knew that I was different.
I always knew I was attracted to women. I was never attracted to boys.
Yeah, you felt, wow, you didn't understand. You kind of tried to push it aside.
I couldn't identify what it was until maybe high school, and then I
just played sports like nonstop. That was my way of releasing the confusion and the feelings that I was having.
Didn't have any friends that, were gay and didn't think it was socially right. So I just kind of kept it to myself.
That's what's been missing when I've been dating these guys, and it just didn't feel right.
Up until that point, it has always associated with something that wasn't good.
And then I just really did not want to have anything to do with it.
Back then, that was taboo, big time taboo.
I tried to force myself to be straight, and it just wasn't there. I just didn't have that connection. It's kind of an internal battle that I fought with myself for many years.
I was a sophomore in college when I finally came out to my family.
I didn't come out until I was in the military.
I was kind of forced to come out to my parents.
And one of my friends came out to me, and I didn't want to lose her as a friend, and it really made me start to examine who I was and maybe why I had always thought I was different.
My mother was the first person that I came out to.
You know, it kind of took me a minute or two to kind of get up the courage for it, but I basically just blurted out, you know, Mom, I'm gay.
While I was in college, I told my mom, I sat her down, I said, I just something I have to tell you, I'm gay.
Flat out said I was gay.
And she basically said, I always knew, and, you know, I was waiting for you to, you know, feel like you'd come to me to talk about it.
And she looked at me and gave me a hug and said, honey, I know. I've known for a long time and it's okay.
There was probably nothing else like it coming out to my mom. It was definitely a big relief, you know, that she still loves me. You know. And that I wasn't different, that I wasn't a freak. And I knew from then on that I was stronger for it.
When it came to my father, that was a little bit more challenging for me.
My dad was old school Italian, so he thought it was a choice, and you know, everybody's coming out, this isn't a choice. And
I said to myself, I am who I am. I haven't changed. And they're either going to love me or they're not.
I said, would anybody choose to be gay? I said, just think, you're allowed to walk down the street with whoever you love holding hands. You can kiss in public. You can get married. You can have benefits. You can share insurance, all that kind of stuff. I said, for someone that's gay, they don't have the same luxuries. It's not the easy route to go.
People didn't make fun of me or anything of that nature. I did not express how I felt, even to my best friend, which I found out after I went to college that she also came out.
And she just kind of looked at me and she goes, you know what, now that you've put it that way, I understand. That's how you're born. You're born that way.
It was a hard point, but it was a good point for me because it kind of gave me a little, standing up a little bit taller, that I'm proud of who I am.
I graduated in '85, went in the military January of '87.
My employer found out I was gay, and they kind of came after me.
I considered it a witch hunt. I was being followed. I was being forbidden to go to her barracks. I was being forbidden to talk to her.
Got pulled in the office one day, and they just started questioning me about things, and I was like, I couldn't understand where they're going.
You wouldn't think it would be hard for this much time.
I was being bullied. No ifs, and buts about it. But back then, the laws weren't the way they are now. Protections weren't there. I had really very few resources, and so I really didn't have anywhere to turn to or anybody to turn to talk to.
I had some support of some very good friends when I finally did talk about what happened.
I felt terrible. I felt horrible. It was going to be my career, just at a loss.
What I went through at 20 years old and 21 years old changed who I was. Thank goodness I had some wonderful support.
It took me about 9 years to get back on my feet and say, you know what, they're not going to stop me, and I'm going to go for what I want to do. And here I am, 16 and a half years later.
Just remember, you're never going to go through life with everybody liking you. There's always going to be someone who doesn't agree with who you are or what you're doing. Just remember, you're not doing it for them. You're doing it for yourself.
There are hypocrites and bigots no matter where you are, and things like that are going to happen. And I just keep pushing on, you know. Keep pushing on.
The more true I was to myself, the more successful I became in my life. It's such a sense of freedom and relief that you can't compare it to anything.
If you're having a problem at home, school, being bullied, being intimidated, there's resources.
You will find friends that you never knew, that you never expected support from.
The most beautiful thing about this world is there's no other you.
It always gets better. Every day gets better, only if you let it.
Once you decide who you are and what you will and will not accept, you will have a great life, an absolutely fabulous life.
Stay strong. If you're having thoughts of suicide, whatever it may be, know that it gets better. There's better stuff out there. You just have to stick through it when it gets tough.
You need to understand that the choice you make will be the best choice of your life. And trust me, once you do that, it will get better.
We embrace our differences, and together it gets better.
Don't be afraid to be who you are, and it gets better.
It gets better, and it gets a lot better.
It does get better. I'm living proof.
For me, it was 10 times better, 1,000 times better. It was the best thing that I ever did. And I'm glad that I did it.
Be strong and stand up, and you're going to enjoy your life. It gets better.